Hi, thank you for joining me for my Connecting Data and Theory presentation. This is for Module 6. So for my project, I talked about Tustin Unified School District. While I teach within this district, I do not actually teach for this district. The school district population consists of 22,776 students across 17 different schools. 11,712 are male, while 11,064 are female. So the breakdown for the whole district is about 51% male, 49% female. In the district, 46.6% are Hispanic, 23% are Asian, 22.8% are white, 5.4% are mixed, and 1.6% are black. See, this district is primarily Hispanic students, and then students with disabilities under IDEA. So students participating in the IDEA program total about 2,776, which breaks down to about 12% of the total student body. Of that group, 56.4% are Latino, 24.4% are white, 11.9% are Asian, 4.1% are mixed, and 2.8% are black, which follows along with the basic breakdown of the demographics for the whole district. In this, we can see that 1,864 students are male and 912 students are female. So it breaks down to about 2 to 1, so double the amount of males in the disability program under IDEA. But the demographics themselves break down pretty much exactly across both, with being within a percent of each one, which is interesting. You can see here the graphs look exactly alike, so that kind of follows that. The discipline data for students without disabilities in the district, out of school suspension, we only have 8 students, with 5 Hispanic students and 3 white students. Breaking down the percent, honestly don't feel great at this low of number, but it's 62.5% Hispanic and 37.5% white. And then for in-school suspensions, these are all male. We have 1 Latino and 1 Hispanic student, so 50-50 there. I think I skipped it, but we do have the breakdown for Hispanic is 3 males and 2 females being disciplined there, with the 2 Hispanic females being the only females in the district in this data. The district data for students with disabilities is a bit higher. We have 17 students getting out of school suspension. 12 of those are Hispanic, with 7 males and 5 females, taking up 70.6%. 4 white students making up 23.5%, 3 male and 1 female, and then 1 mixed student making up 5.9%, and that was a male student. In school suspension, this district doesn't look like it likes to give in-school suspension because these numbers tend to be low. But for students with disabilities, we have 5 students who are all male. We have 2 Hispanic students, 2 white students, and 1 black student. Tustin High. I'm talking about Tustin High because I picked a school that was close to mine. In this picture, if you squint really, really hard, you can actually see where I teach, kind of off in the distance by the highway. This is one of 4 high schools in the district. There are 2,263 students enrolled there. Following the trend, there are 1,133 males with 1,130 females, keeping that ratio pretty much at 50-50 here. Slightly 3 more males, technically. Though, the big number here is the number of Hispanic students is 80.2%. So this is a large percentage. You can see in the graph on the side, this is way over all the averages for the district and nationally. So this school is largely Hispanic. Coming in behind that, we have 9.2% Asian, 6.7% white, 1.8% black, and 1.2 mixed. Breaking this down, following the same kind of numbers there, but students participating in the IDEA program, we have 334 students, coming down to about 12% of the total population of students here. Following close to the trend, we have 78.4% Hispanic taking up the program, 12.4% white, 3.6 Asian, 3.3 black, and 1.2 mixed. Breaking these numbers down further, we see we have 220 males in the program with 118 females. So following the trend of almost double the amount of male students to female students in the disability program. Numbers tend to follow along pretty closely, though there were no black female students in the, or there are no mixed female students in the program. So we have 76.8% Hispanic, 13.2% white, 3.2% Asian, 3.2% black as well, 1.8 mixed, and 1.8 other for males. And then for females, we are looking at 81.4% Hispanic, 11% white, 4.2 Asian, and 4.4 black. Not sure why I switched the order of those two numbers. Here we can see that breakdown. Oh, that's why, because I carried a 4 instead of a 2. I'll fix that. But yeah, we can see primarily Hispanic, following along with the trend pretty much of school-wide, though we do see less Asians being in the disability program versus their overall population of the school. So, discipline for data with students without disabilities. Out of school suspensions, we saw 4 students getting suspended, 3 of which are Latino, making it 75%, with 2 being male, 1 being female. And then we had 1 white male student be suspended, and there are no in-school suspensions. So this is where these numbers get kind of thrown, because 75% seems like a lot, but at the point where it's 3 students, it's really not that big. Out-of-school suspensions for students with disabilities, we see 7, with 6 Hispanics, with 3 males and 2 females, being 85.7%, and 1 mixed student who was a male, making it 14.3%. In school suspensions, we had 1 Hispanic male being suspended for 100% of that population. So we're going to evaluate some data. It's important to note that Tustin High School is a high school only, so it consists of grades 9 through 12. Even though it is a high school, it still accounts for 17.2% of all Hispanic students in the district. Out of being a school of one of 17 schools, that is a large portion of that. So this school is primarily focused on Hispanic students. I did find it really interesting that both the district and the school were pretty much ratio at 50-50 male-female, so there's no big upset with that. I do want to point out in the district itself, demographically not of the district, but of the area itself, is not that huge of a Hispanic population. It is a substantial portion, but it is not the total. It's not the largest, so I found it very interesting that this school particularly focused on a lot of Hispanic students. So male and female, though, I want to point out that while males and females were divided pretty much 50-50, in the students with disabilities, males tend to make up over twice that of the females. I feel like that might be caused by a lot of disabilities in females tend to be harder to diagnose until they're a little older, which in high school you could start seeing signs of things, but it might not be things. All right. In this district, though, there's very few instances of discipline, in my opinion, which is great, but it does skew the data a little bit of having like 100% of Hispanic students making up in-school suspensions by being 1, as because of that point exactly, the data is really easy to throw just by a single student being a huge representation. And then students with disabilities tend to definitely face more discipline. They receive basically twice the amount of discipline and students without disabilities, while they're only making up 18% of the whole student population. So that's a really big difference. So just quick connections I wanted to make to the reading. A little bit just in the article talking about Education India, they did notice or point out that it is important to focus on also females, getting them involved and helping them. I thought that was really important because in this you can see that basically females are making up half the population, but only a quarter or half, but then a half of the total students, no, a quarter of the students getting disabilities. Sorry, math, not strong suit. So if it's on trend and disability was 50-50, then males are definitely over counted and over, the word's important, I forgot it, I'm sorry, but over important there. So, or over reported, there we go. Males are definitely over reported than the females in this one. And then also I mean, it's the point of the Tustin article or disability article, but the quote of students of color tend to be educated in settings agreed or segregated from the general population more often than their white peers with the same disabilities, label who were more likely to receive support in general education classrooms and learn alongside their general education peers. Now, it's important because you can see from this district that a lot of the students tend to be Hispanic and Asian, where white, which tends to be like the most normal, but the most reported, is actually the third reported one. So I thought this was interesting to draw conclusions. And then our works cited. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.